Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back to talk about episode number 4 of Buddy Games. And we are back here to talk about a show that surprisingly it's all about empowering women here in Buddy Games. Here with us to talk about it. My co-host here for Hit or Quit. It's Jenny on. Jenny, how are you?
I'm great. I just wish that you could blow a bugle for me just once.
Yeah,
that's probably better than Josh Duhamel.
Yeah, I think Josh Duhamel is really like doing the bugle. It seemed like.
Yeah, I don't think the bugle is real. I think it's just.
You think it's fake? No, I think it would be better if it if it was a prop. I think that I think that's because it's so bad. I think that it is very authentic and real, and we appreciate that. Jenny, I'm a little mad today. Coming into Buddy Games episode 4 recap. Here's what I'm mad about. Okay. Audience and Jenny. So yeah, we're live here today. I wanted to go live here on a Friday where you got a million other shows to be talking about right now. And so what I'm a little annoyed about here is that look, I thought coming in we would watch the Buddy Games, have some laughs, and have a good time like we do, laughing at the Buddy Games. Boy, what a stupid show this Buddy Games is. What I'm mad about, what I'm angry about is I did not expect to earnestly fall in love with the Buddy Games. And I'm afraid that has begun to happen, Jenny.
You're upset about you just don't have room in your heart for another show?
I didn't have room in my heart for the Buddy Games. But like here I am. Like I'm very invested now in the team pride and the roller derby and the pageant queens.
Like who
Team OK.
You're
Philly
looking
forever.
At, you know them all. Wait, don't forget Chicago's finest.
I know them all. Like to the point where like I'm starting to like now I like almost like know the names of like the individual players
after
on
this
the
episode,
Buddy Games.
I think I almost know everyone's name. You're looking at Buddy Games and you're like, I can't quit you. Like literally you cannot quit this show because it's roped you in. Did either of us think we were going to get 4 episodes into the show? Unless it was like giving really good, like this is so stupid that we are laughing at it, or like every single week.
The last thing I had time for this week was Buddy Games, and here we are, and I can't wait to talk about it. And
we'll do our best to. I know you're a busy man. You got other podcasts to do, so we'll try to.
It's a busy week,
but it's like there's strategy, like there's drama. It's
just to give the backstory of why is this guy so busy? Yeah, so. We're in the midst of the Big Brother season. Survivor is going on. I just got back from. We did the Survivor live show. Next season, we might have to do the Buddy Games live show, Jenny.
Yeah.
So,
I'll make the trip this time.
Yeah, well, we're coming to you. I think we gotta have to go to Canada for Buddy Games.
We'll do Toronto again.
Yeah, and so then we're coming back, and then I'm at JFK Airport this morning. Watching Buddy Games, and I'm so invested in this. Now, last week's episode, I still think was the best.
Yeah,
I loved last week's episode, but this was pretty good.
They kept the energy. Like it's hard to top, what you said was one of the best reality TV episodes that you've ever seen. It's hard to follow that, but to follow that and like keep a pretty solid energy is very, very impressive. And I just want to say, Rob, last week I said, don't worry. I think that Debbie, and this is no shade to Debbie, she was our
I won't
queen.
have it. Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying she isn't solely responsible for giving us entertainment from this show. And I said, look out for some of these others. I did say Lauren. I thought Lauren had the energy. And I think that was proven correct this week.
Yeah, I owe an apology because I was very upset last week. We just watched the episode and I jumped on. And while I stand by everything I said about Debbie, I love Debbie. Debbie was great TV. I may have been a little too hard on the rest of the Buddy Games cast, and I didn't think that they had the potential. But, you know, Debbie, I think put Debbie on more shows for sure.
I still want her on the challenge.
Yeah, I'm very invested in this group. And Jenny, did we know this that on Buddy Games? So the Buddy Games that you lose the loser's last stand, you kick somebody off the team because there might be people that listen to the podcast and don't watch the shows. That might be a thing that happens here on Here
I
Quick.
think so.
Just listen
A
to us
bit.
and don't watch the show. But so there was a rule. Okay, you have a team of 4. You lose the loser's last stand. You have to kick somebody off the team.
Yeah.
But did we know that if you lose 2 people, the team is gone?
Yes. So you basically have
that.
Yes, this was explained in the first episode.
I didn't know that.
It's okay. As you know, like you're doing podcasts about a million shows.
About Buddy Games.
Oh, I know. Listen, I think things were heating up this week. No, I am intensely paying attention to this show because this is it for me right now. I'm all in on Buddy Games. But yeah, so basically you get one shot to lose and not be completely eliminated. You just remove someone from your team and get knocked down a peg. But if you lose again, you can't go down to a team of 2. You're gone.
You're gone. So ultimately, like, there is a little bit of like when you make that first move, like in future Buddy Game seasons, we'll see that there will be a you'll want to make sure you keep the team strong because if you lose again, you're done. Buddy Game's over.
Yeah. And I mean, there's no other way that it could work out except for doing it this way because everything is still team-based. All of the things are team-based.
Yeah.
And you get down to 2, you're just going to get eliminated.
This is really high stakes, I feel like, because first of all, I did not know that, Philly Forever and Team OK and the Pageant Queens were like 1 loss away from elimination from the Buddy Games. And I wonder, are we going to get down to like 2 teams in the final episode? Like we still have I think we're only halfway there. I think next week's episode is going to be the halfway point. I think Sam Moore was saying that we got the update. October 26th is the 2-hour finale of Buddy Games.
Yeah. So happy birthday to Sam Moore.
Yes.
No, so I think 8 episodes. So this was the halfway point, I guess, right?
Okay. Maybe they're going to have a halfway party or something like that.
Anyway. Yeah.
But
right, so we could, I mean, somehow people have to win the money, right, Rob? So I think that they probably do get down to less than
hypothetically
that many teams, but
okay. All right. Say you're Team Philly Forever. Okay. Was it Mike that went home?
Yeah.
So let's say the Pageant Queens. Okay. Well, and that might be the bad scenario because if the 3 win without the person eliminated, like, would Debbie get any of them? It's a bad example because I think they would say, Debbie, we're mad at you. We're not giving you any of the money.
So let's say Philly Forever and Mike who went home.
Mike went home. Yeah. Did they give Mike anything? Is it up to the team to decide? Does everybody get $50K?
Yeah.
The $200,000 prize on Buddy Games.
I think that they leave it up to the team. Right? Because
that could be another fight. That should be a reunion show of how did you break up the money?
Yeah, I would like to see that. Mike would definitely get money because I think like those are well, what we know about Philly Forever is they are loyal. But you're right, that Pageant Queen situation, which we will unfortunately never see play out. Debbie would not get any money. She was not getting money.
Okay. Well, okay, Jenny, this was a very exciting episode of Buddy Games here. And, we had the fallout of last week's episode where, after Debbie was gone, there was a little bit more calm in the house. It seemed like that the Pageant Queens were ready to sort of like, okay, let's move on with Debbie. Let's focus on Lauren's belts.
6 belts this woman had packed. I don't think I own more than 1 belt.
Do different belts go with different jeans? Is that true?
Well, this is why I'm not a pageant queen, Rob, is because like half the time I'm not wearing a belt and probably more than half the time. And I think that, if you are a very fashionable person, maybe you do feel like you need different belts for different outfits. I don't feel I want my belt to not be noticeable. I don't want it to be part of the conversation. But that's also because I can't afford a like statement belt. So maybe
Yeah.
if you're like, I got a Gucci belt, like it's like a big
Statement belt. Yeah.
deal, but like, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. 6 belts for buddy games where half the time they're in like jammies. Like, come on.
Yeah. So I don't know if I am unusual or not. Maybe this is like maybe specific to some of our male listeners out there. So I think I have basically the belt that I wear when I wear a belt 99% of the time. I don't know at what point I bought it. It could have been any time between the year 1998
I was gonna say
and
pre or post Survivor.
2015. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Oh boy.
And yeah, I don't know, like, should there be a protocol of like I don't know like at what point it should be like uh washed, or I don't know. I don't
You
know.
wash a belt?
I don't know. I think at some point I probably like at least like during like in the COVID era, I think I probably got like a
Like
like a Lysol
Lysol
wipe.
wiped it or something?
Yeah, at least once.
I guess. Like, but it's not touching
I need like
skin
carbon
or
dating. I think I may be wearing the same belt for 25 years.
it's not something that I think gets, like, very worn out, except for, I guess,
Mhm.
if it's, like, bending a lot and then it, like, I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah.
I
Okay.
I would love to hear people chime in on the belt, debate. Like,
Yeah,
do you
belt
own a lot
belt
of belts?
etiquette.
Are you a one belt only? Do you wash
Yeah.
your belt?
Jenny, it seems like there were more pranks going on in the house. I thought this was a big episode for the
Hashtag lodge
Derby.
life.
Yeah, Derby squad.
Yes. Which I spent the entire episode trying to figure out if we got enough. So we definitely got a lot more Derby squad storyline for obvious reasons because they're going to end up spoiler into the loser's last stand. But
I think they're getting the winner at it.
I love that. I
I
would
think
love
the
that
Derby
for
squad
them.
is going to win.
That would be great. I actually haven't thought much about like who I think is going to win this, but
Yes.
I will say I spent because I am paying attention to the Buddy Games Edgic, right? And so
Mhm.
I'm spending the whole episode
The
being like,
budget.
have I gotten the budget? Have I gotten enough of a storyline about an individual person on Derby Squad to feel like they are going to lose a person in this
Yeah.
episode?
Do they have
That's
a
what I start
leader?
doing.
Yeah. Who's the leader of? I felt like in this episode, I felt like that. Was it Melissa? I felt like kind of
Melissa.
emerged
So,
as the
well,
leader.
that was where I thought if they had lost, that Melissa would be the one that would go, simply because I felt like she got the most individual content.
Yeah.
But I feel like Shaggy is my personal fave.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, I find her like relatable.
Mm.
And I felt like she kind of stands up and speaks for like the group a little bit too.
Hmm.
So she might be like a quieter leader. I don't know.
I thought that
I love
Rachel
this.
is the quietest one from
Rachel
Derby
is.
Squad.
Yeah.
Rachel's spoke in this episode. I don't know if there have ever been Rachel content before.
No, I don't think so. I mean, she speaks in the
Derby.
confessional, like the group.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I will say this team, we at least hear from all of them during confessionals. There are teams where I'm like, I don't know if this person has spoken. There are
Mhm.
definitely still a
Who's
couple
that? Like
of the,
Chicago Pride? Or no, sorry, Chicago's finest.
yeah, that would be with the alliance name of the two groups is Chicago Pride.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would say Chicago's finest is the team I know the least. And I also think that there's still a man, I don't even know which team. It's probably the other one on OK Forever. Not
Oh,
Huddy,
not Huddy,
not
not
Yo.
yeah.
Who and then I'm sorry, I think I called you in a previous episode, but I know now it's Yo. The other guy, I don't remember his name. I'm so
Um,
sorry. Craig
so
left, and I don't remember.
Justin.
Okay. Well, they didn't need to put his Chiron on more because I'm not seeing what Justin's about. I know
Yeah.
he spoke at some
Okay.
point because I
Well,
remember
we're
being like,
we're in the
"Who is him?"
weeds too much because we're the
That's all
biggest
I
Buddy
do.
Games fans, and
I
so
live in the weeds.
we're too in the weeds. Okay, that's fun to
Anyway.
do at the lodge. Okay, but all right. So there's a big thing going on in this episode. Okay, no curveball. The curveball is there is no curveball this
Well, love
week.
that.
That there is going to be something that we're gonna go right to the buddy game. and we're gonna do 2 heats in the buddy game. The person who comes in last, the team that comes in last, they will go to loser's last stand. But the team with the fastest time of the winners is going to get the curveball. They're going to get to sabotage somebody.
And I loved this because it felt like getting a buddy games 90-minute episode. Like, because we had one less like challenge or
give us the
competition.
90-minute buddy games, you cowards.
Exactly. Because we didn't have to do a whole other challenge. We got more of the strategic outcomes and consequences of the sabotage, and a little bit more lodge life, which is what we've been asking for. So I felt like that was great. Like, because I hate challenges, Rob. I really do. Even though these are fun and silly and haha and goofy.
Okay.
I don't want to watch 3 challenges in an episode. I don't want to watch a curveball plus the actual buddy game plus loser's last stand. It's too much.
Jenny, we need you to tell the listeners what this challenge was, because this combined a lot of elements of things that people love.
Yes. I think it was called Cup of Chili. And Josh Duhamel is having the time of his life naming these challenges.
The names are not that good.
No, but
Josh Duhamel is really impressed with them, and Josh, like, we love the show. But Josh is like a little too impressed for like, okay, Cornholio, we'll give you that one. But you know, the one, what was it like? There was one that was like, this one's called Slipping in the Rain. Okay, like, okay.
I think that was the loser's last stand, or it was like Slinging in the Rain.
Slinging in the Rain.
Singing in the Rain. It was
I don't even understand. Like,
and he laughed.
I don't even understand what the rain was in Slinging in the Rain.
There was no rain.
There was no rain.
There was rain. Like, it's raining paintballs. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
He has a great time with this. You know what? I'm happy for him. Anyway, this is called Cup of Chili. There was no chili involved. It was just chili as in cold.
Yeah.
So
it was
a cold element.
They incorporated an ice bucket challenge in honor of the 10-year anniversary of the ice bucket challenge.
Is it the 10-year anniversary of
It's not. I don't think so. Not quite.
Close enough.
But maybe.
Yeah.
It actually might be.
Like 2011, but maybe
no.
Not.
It might be. It might be 2013.
Okay, well, time is flying by. So how this challenge works is, we have two heats of 3 teams. One buddy's at a table. The rest of them, they run to the beach. They have to get into an inflatable flamingo, those big giant inflatable flamingos, and like paddle it like a boat. Like, they're basically like pushing it as if it's a boat to a gazebo where there's a cooler of ice cold water. And they have to drag the I think it had like a trolley or like some sort of thing. And then bring the cold water back down the boardwalk, which I would call that a dock. I don't know what I guess it's a boardwalk, whatever. And then they dump it. So they basically dump the ice water on the buddy that's left back at the table. And then the ice cold buddy plays like a giant game of flip cut with these.
They love flip cup. They love beer pong and buddy games.
Every challenge is basically like some sort of giant version of flip cup or beer pong, which I love. It's great. So it's flip cup with like giant like Gatorade coolers, like these giant orange.
It seemed very easy.
Yeah, especially because like you weren't having to like do it with one finger or anything like that. Like, they were basically just like lifting it into the air and trying to flip it.
Yeah, I think the heaviness of the Gatorade cooler makes it easier than the like lightness of the solo cup.
Yeah, because like a gust of wind and like it's falling on its side if it's just a regular cup. But like this, we got a girthy cooler here. Anyway, so then they play flip cup with that. Then, for whatever reason, like, none of this makes any sense. It's literally like the executive producers, who I just assume are Josh and his buddies, are sitting.
That is literally who the executive producers are. Yes.
Yeah. I'm sitting in a smoke-filled room, I assume, being like, and then what if we made them do this? And then what about that? Like, this is how every buddy game gets decided. There's a giant block of ice with clothing frozen
Yeah.
on the inside. I don't know what it is with the CBS shows this week with like putting things inside of things. Like we have like idols in a candle, clothes in an
Mhm.
ice box block. But
So that I think that the shirt in the block of ice, I think, is like a kind of a common thing. So could I give
what?
you just a little bit of like my
Please enlighten me.
Survivor backstory?
Okay, please.
Okay. So that I want to go back to my earliest Survivor season,
Okay.
which took
Get into
place in the summer or in the spring of 2002 when
it.
I
Mhm.
went to Jamaica for spring break and I participated in a local bar's Survivor night.
No.
And me and my friend Floyd were part of Survivor that we saw a poster for Survivor and we said, okay, we need to be in the Survivor game. And that we were participating. I don't really remember. I might have been a little bit like the people on Buddy Games
Yeah.
in terms of not really remembering what was going on. But
You were served.
at the merge that we were
Mhm.
all given like blocks of ice that had a t-shirt inside. And then you had to get the t-shirt out and put it on to make the merge. It was a little bit like the Mergatory, actually.
Okay.
And so,
Yeah.
and then you just were out. It wasn't like you got like voted out. You were just out if you didn't complete the task. And I think that they gave the attractive young women the shirts that were
Oh.
not. I mean, I don't want to say it was
Were they
rigged.
white?
The women, yeah.
No, I meant the
And
shorts.
and they really that I think that the people that were running the Survivor game in Jamaica, I think they might have been
Yeah.
like kind of like corrupt bar guys. And I think that they might have just been trying to like get all the
See some
women,
boobies.
the young drunk women to the end. And so
Oh, no.
they ultimately I think they gave like barely like frozen, like they were in like cold water, the shirts that the girls got. And I was like, my shirt was in like the like biggest block of ice ever, and I didn't have a power washer.
This is how you get the wet t-shirt contest without having the wet t-shirt contest.
Hmm.
This is it. Do you think okay, I have never heard of this being a thing, so maybe it is more of a thing than I realized based on the story. But do you think that there's a chance that one of Josh Duhamel's buddies or Josh himself was in Jamaica at the same
Running
time?
the Jamaican Survivor
Or
game.
I'm not saying that, but maybe he was also a participant and that's where
Oh
the inspiration
no, I
came
think that Josh Duhamel might have been at the height of his powers at that point. I
from.
don't think he
Well,
was.
what if it's just one of his buddies, just one of his cronies, you know? Like, might not have been Josh
Hmm.
himself. Listen, he's not the only genius behind this show. The buddies,
Hmm.
there's the buddies.
Yeah.
Could've been them.
Maybe that's
Anyway,
possible. But anyway, so
oh, this
that's
is
what was going on.
a
Okay. They we
they have
talked
a
about that
power
we
washer? Like, that's what they have to use, a power washer to get the clothes out of the ice.
no, we were just like breaking it. Like I'm
Yeah,
not
which
sure
is
like really the power washer, and also that I wasn't sure if I really got the reference of when was it that they were trying to say, was it Melissa was like oh my god, just like she's in a White Snake video power
oh,
washing a block of
no,
ice.
it was Shaggy. It was Shaggy,
Shaggy.
like, using the power washer. She had, like, her leg up on, like, the table
Mhm.
and was, like, getting real into it and stuff, which this I think this is why Shaggy's relatable to me is because 'cause I'm like, yeah,
That
like,
could have
I
been
can
you.
see myself doing that. Just, like, make it a little fun, a little
Yeah.
sexy.
Okay. Well, the challenge is what the challenge is on Buddy Games.
Yeah,
There was
stupid.
a pretty big wipeout from Yo on Team OK. Hope
Oh
he
my
was okay.
gosh. I think he's okay,
Yeah,
but
second
he's
worst challenge fall I saw on CBS reality TV
oh
after
my
Kendra.
gosh. Yes. Yeah, that was rough to watch.
Yeah.
He basically, like
Should they
slipped on
on
the
Survivor,
dog.
Jenny? Should they give them a athletic
Cups.
supporter a
Yeah.
cup before they do any of these balance beams?
At this point they should, but I low key think that half the time they like the idea. I mean, with these blindfold challenges, they're hoping people are getting hit in the genitals. It seems that it seems
Mhm.
like what they're trying to accomplish. So I don't know if they would be pro cup.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, so we got a couple of winners. We had it was what Chicago's finest won
Yeah,
the round one.
yeah. Yeah, so
And
the
then
first heat was like all of the city or like all of the location-based teams. So OK,
yes.
Philly, and Chicago, and Chicago won that one. And
Yeah.
then the second
Philly forever
heat,
lost. They would go to losers
yeah,
last stand. And
yeah,
then we got to see Team Pride, who's been very strong in the challenges.
mm-hmm,
They ended up winning, and the pageant queens came in last place. But here was the big twist. Team Pride has won the power of sabotage, and they
yes,
were able to send somebody to basically had like a coup d'etat, Jenny. They could take somebody off the block and replace them with another team.
yes. So 2 teams are going to losers last stand. They can basically save one, but that comes with the honor and pressure of choosing a different team to replace them in losers last stand. This is do you feel like this is not an advantage moment? Too much blood on the hands
It
here?
would be a lot of blood on the hands, certainly. And so that it would be the kind of thing where that if you were trying to play the middle game, like the
Mhm.
pageant queens wanted to do minus Debbie last week, you would not want
Yeah.
this. But it is like incredibly powerful, probably the most powerful advantage that we've seen in this game, where basically you could take a team that with 3 people that did not end up in the bottom and try to like get them eliminated, and or you could take a team like Philly Forever that you have a relationship with and basically pull them out of harm's way, try to weaken another team. And
Mhm.
so yeah, I think this was very powerful. And look, Jenny, in the buddy games, you gotta play to win.
I guess so. This was very drawing a line in the sand kind of situation. And I think that part of and we can get into, where this went, but I feel like maybe what really hurt Team Pride and ultimately how they handle the sabotage is I think they were trying to really not have to draw a line in the sand. They wanted their cake and to eat it too, kind of thing. And I think that like you kind of have to just lean into the villainy that you are kind of forced to do here, because they acknowledge you are pissing off 2 teams. You are pissing off the other team that doesn't get saved, and then you're pissing off the team that you put in. So, you're about to make essentially 2 teams your enemy. And I think that they try a little too hard to make everyone happy and make it seem like they're not,
You think
you
it's
know,
too early to play this hard?
might be. It might be.
Hmm.
Especially when you're a team of 4 and we're getting into this whole rationale of like, let's bring everyone down to 3, make it a little bit more fair. That's not great. You now have 2 teams that are going to be pissed off at you.
But
But
maybe there's a chance to make some alliances.
well, here's the thing. They get lucky here, I think. They
Yes.
they get lucky here because ultimately a team gets completely, sorry to spoil it for everyone, I'm going ahead, but if we're going to talk overall about
Yeah,
the
for big picture.
strategy, the big picture here, they get lucky by having the queens eliminated because they ended up pissing off both teams in losers last stand, and now one of those teams doesn't exist.
Hmm.
So if Derby squad had lost a member like they seem to want to happen, you have 2 teams of 3 coming back pissed at you.
Yeah.
Now you only have 1 team of 4 still coming back pissed at you.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think that this is what they expected to happen or
It's not what
wanted to
they expect.
happen.
They
So
thought they
they
were going to play
kind
the
of got
middle.
lucky.
They thought they were
Yeah.
going to play both sides against each other. Ultimately, did not go that way.
Yeah.
But they did kind of get a outcome that they wanted.
Yeah. And we see, so Andrew was still like the mastermind mostly of Team Pride. And so I love
Andrew
the
is like
scene.
the Richard Hatch of buddy games.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
He
He's
came
not.
in and everybody's there like, well, I'm here to make friends. And he's like,
Yeah.
I'm the person who's seeing the strategy.
Yes, he said that everyone's making friends. That's cute. I am here to make an army. And this is kind of what he does. I love the scene, Rob, where the Team Pride is talking about what they're going to do with their sabotage, and they like they didn't have like a talking stick, and they're using the talking dead dog. It was like a stuffed dog. So they're passing around.
I thought that was really fun. Andrew said, okay, here's what we're going to do. I want to pull Team Philly down, tell them that we're going to save them, lock that in. They're going to be appreciative for us using the veto on them, taking them off the block. But we need to get some sort of a deal from them. And so we saw this conversation, and we heard from Team Philly, and who is it from Team Philly that has the Anthony from Team Philly? He said, hey, we're loyal. You know how I could tell you that we're loyal? We still have AOL email. That's how loyal we are.
And then they're like, get out. Yeah. Like, first thing, we're all still with our high school sweethearts. Look how loyal we are. Great. More importantly, we still use AOL. That's how loyal we are.
Yeah.
I love Anthony. He's funny.
Yeah. I love that the reason that we still have AOL email addresses, like, we can't turn our backs on America Online. They've done so much for us that they're just a little guy, and they can't lose our business. We've been supporting them for 30 years.
Yeah, good on them. That's just patriotism in action, is supporting America Online.
Yeah. Now hold on a second. Now, all right. So, is this correct? Okay, so we have the chat going here.
Yeah.
We're live here today on a Friday afternoon. Okay, so of course, Sarah Cupcakes, who I just spoke to on the Big Brother Q&A for the patron show, says, Mr. Cakes has worn the same belt for decades, got it at the local leather store, and has added notches along the way. Okay, so I am not alone. Taylor says, I love buddy games. Okay, welcome to the club.
Us too.
Okay, our buddies. Okay. And then Red Wing says, Andrew was on Amazing Race 3 back in 2002. Is this correct?
I feel like I'd seen somebody else say this. And like, I was definitely watching like early Amazing Race.
Is this the Challenge USA?
We bring in people. This is great. Because the whole point of buddy games is like, none of these people are young. You know what I mean? No offense. Like, none of these people are like 20. I shouldn't say that, because they're probably like really close in age to me, and I should not call myself old. But the point is like,
but then you advertise. The show is like advertised as like, hey, like, remember when you were young and you used to go to camp and have friends?
Yeah. This is not for 22-year-olds that still get to see and hang out with their friends all the time. The point of this show is like for people with like, that are in like their 40s or older, basically. And this is like where if you were on reality TV when you were younger, this is like when you come back later.
Yeah. Relatable.
Rob for buddy game.
All right. Well, I only need buddies. That's the only thing. All right. So, this on the Amazing Race 3. Okay. Is this Andrew of Dennis and Andrew, the father and son team from the Amazing Race?
I guess so. Yeah.
I
guess it is. Yeah, and we have updated ages for them on that wiki, so that sounds about right.
Okay, is this the same? Is this the same guy 21 years later?
Wow. Yeah, the same face for sure.
He got a second shot at it. Okay, and he's making the most of it.
Wow. Listen, I guess like we shouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, send a message to Jessica Leese.
Yeah.
Or at least Mike Bloom. Gotta find out. Okay.
Now, I mean, we knew that he could make a TV, I guess.
Post race. Fun facts. Andrew later competed in the CBS reality series Buddy Games.
Read above that.
Yes. Andrew later competed in the Discovery Channel reality series Naked and Afraid.
Wow. Oh, you know what? I feel like Mari told me this. I feel like Mari mentioned that. I think this is how I found out. And then my brain instantly decided not to retain that. As it does. So Andrew is no, stranger to the reality TV world.
Yes. Okay. So he's coming in hot.
Yeah. And that is the thing. Did
Should they have
they
voted him out
play this too hard?
immediately? Is he the Suri of buddy games? Was this an
Um,
advantage?
this too. Now I need to find out if there's anyone else on this cast that's been on reality TV before.
Yeah, it's a
Just
great
like things that we
question.
haven't watched.
Yeah, this is from Boyku50 says, got to do a deep dive into the cast past. Maybe somebody was on Kid Nation.
That's what I'm saying. And like some of these shows, clearly like Amazing Race, like, you know, you could be on the show in your like early 20s and now you're back.
Yeah.
So
okay. Well, let's just talk through some of this strategic conversation. Yes. So the plan is set. Andrew has everything up. Steven is responsible. Steven is somebody who got some airtime in this episode. We have not seen a lot of Steven from Team Pride. He needed to go and tell Team Derby that we are going to put you into losers last stand. That and then says, I'm going to leave you to talk about this amongst yourselves. So gets in and gets out. A surgical strike.
I felt terrible because clearly Steven is closest with the Derby squad and likes them a lot. And I don't know if Steven volunteered to be the person to break it to them, or if the rest of Team Pride said, Steven, this is on you. But he was like tearing up about it. Like he was upset.
I think that because you have multiple people, I think that Andrew had like relationships with Team Chicago's finest. Also that, you know, I get these adjectives are getting me a little confused. And then I think Steven might have had the relationship with the pageant queens and or the Derby girls.
Derby squad. Yeah.
Derby squad.
Yeah. And exactly. I call them the Derby girls half the time. It's Derby squad.
Derby women.
Yes. So and that is the thing, because we see the Derby squad say, like, we're going to leave them to make their decision because we're close with them and we feel good and we don't want to push our agenda on them. And so this is a blindside for the Derby squad, because Derby squad thought that they were super close with Team Pride. And so basically the only team that I think didn't feel like they were super in with Team Pride is Team OK, I think, at this point. So this is a blindside for them to be like, hey,
blindside butterbeans.
We're getting screwed by our friends here. And not in a friends with benefits kind of way.
Yes.
So it's not a benefit.
Yeah, still nobody has hooked up in the buddy games
as far as we know.
As far as we know.
You think that we have a married couple. You think Anthony and Erica are like?
Let's do that in the postseason deep dive.
I mean, they don't have to worry about kids. Maybe this is like a fun little time.
Yeah.
I hate that I'm talking.
Let's see. Yeah. Did Anthony and Erica get busy in the buddy games lodge?
Yeah. Like, which bunk was it?
Yeah.
They have separate bunks.
Yeah. Did they have? Were they? And where was Freddie when that happened? Did they put a sock Freddie on the door for Freddie? Yeah.
They need a signal for Freddie. Freddie,
like, hey, Freddie, can you give us a minute here?
Go play beer pong or something.
Freddie, can you go check your AOL for a minute?
Yeah.
I gotta log on for a second.
I'm so happy for Anthony and Erica. Like, it's hard with, you know, having kids at home. This is their time. They went to buddy games to get it on.
Okay.
Truly.
All right. So, Jenny, this is where things get a little messy. The Derby squad and the pageant queens, they kind of figure it out. What's going on, and they bond, and they realize, hey, Team Pride is trying to play us against each other.
Yeah. Lauren clocked the BS from Andrew. I think Andrew does kind of a poor job, to be honest, in approaching. Yeah. You know, he was feeding like a lot of BS, basically going to the queens and saying like, yeah, like, we're just trying to get the teams all down to 3 and we think you have the best chance of beating them. And they're like, we are in last almost all the time. Like, if this is what you're trying to do, you're putting us at great risk. And I thought we were supposed to be allies. To be fair, I think that Devi was the one that was closest with Team Pride.
Yes.
So maybe with Debbie being out of the picture, they're like, well, we're not that close with
I
these
think Debbie
girls.
and Andrew were a little bit of the puppet masters
Yes,
of buddy
yes.
games. Yeah.
And, Andrew is basically deciding like, well, the three-legged team of Philly forever is going to be more loyal to us than the queens that we're not even close with. So
Mm-hmm.
they basically are selling both teams the same story. We want you to beat the other team. Like, this is what we're really hoping. And they share the stories because girls talk, okay? We
Yeah.
know when you're telling us the same thing.
Okay. And I thought the funniest moment was when Melissa from the Derby squad was talking about how maybe she could be a pageant queen.
Yes. And she gets up and is like, because these two teams are bonding over the fact that they're getting pitted against each other, and I love this.
Yeah.
It's like two women finding out like that they're like dating the same guy, or like, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and they bond and they're like,
Let's
screw
get
this
him.
guy.
Yeah, let's mess with him.
Melissa gets up and she's like, I've always wanted to be a pageant queen. And then she was like, what would I do for the world? Buy myself Patriot season tickets.
She kind of lost me on the Patriots season tickets. But other than that, I thought everything was funny.
What is
As a
I'm
Jets
so
fan.
confused by the question though, where she's like, I'm answering the question of like, what will I do for the world? And then she's like making a joke being like, I'm not going to do anything for the world. I'm going to buy myself Patriots season tickets. I was like, I have so many questions, but I love this. Love this for you, Melissa.
Yeah.
And then we get Lauren who says, you need to close your legs. Because she had like a power stance.
Yeah.
And I guess it wasn't very like pageant.
She didn't have like
her.
pageant queen posture.
Yeah. Gotta close the legs, I guess. Jeez. Okay. Okay, feminism.
Yeah. All right. So they're going to come into losers last stand, kind of a united front. Okay. We're going to do battle, but we're not going to give you your little cat fight here, Team Pride.
And I loved this.
Don't pit the only teams of women against each other.
Exactly. This made them stronger too, like they all came in like arms around each other, both teams like really embracing each other. We have like this beautiful moment where they're like, listen, if this is the end of the game because I got eliminated by you, like I respect you so much and I'm not mad. Like they put all of their energy of being mad at Team Pride for basically like screwing them and lying to them, and the respect for each other, just being like, let's go. Like, let's just show them what badass women we are. And I loved that. As much as I know we all want a cat fight, it's fun. Last week was fun. I did kind of love them, all getting together and being like,
Jenny, what'd you think of all the teams being like, and Josh, we're mad at you? Why are everyone mad at Josh Duhamel?
He asked, he's like, are you a little bit pissed off at me? And they're like, yeah, actually, he's coming up with all this stuff, right? So
I guess so. It's his idea.
These are all his ideas. They forced this upon him. So
yeah. All right. So Jenny, ultimately, we're gonna get slinging in the rain, shooting the paintballs with the slingshot, and ultimately, it comes up Derby squad.
Yeah. Can we? I know. Listen, I don't want to take too much of your time, Rob. I know you have other podcasts to do, but I just like quickly need to talk about the slingshot of it all because like there were so many moments during this episode where I'm like, are slingshots more of a thing than I realize? Like, because Josh is like, one of my greatest childhood memories was building my own slingshot and terrorizing my buddies with it. And I'm like, what?
This might be a unique Josh Duhamel thing.
Like, are you Bart Simpson, sir? Like, what is happening? Like, I did not realize that, like, people were, and that sounds, did you go to juvie? Like,
I don't know if this is real. I feel like that, in my mind, I feel like that this was something like kids did in the 50s, but
right. And he's not that old. He's not. He built his own slingshot and was terrorized. What was he using? Was he slinging rocks at his friends? That is violent. Like,
yeah,
Josh,
I feel like that slingshots were bigger things in like movies and TV than ultimately like I never remember seeing an actual slingshot in the wild.
Okay, thank you. Because I was like, is this an American thing? I don't understand.
It's kind of like I think people falling on a banana peel. Like it's never happened in real life.
But then like, so that was one thing. And I was like, okay, like this is maybe
Team
a
okay.
unique to Josh thing. Maybe he was just really inspired by Bart Simpson and built his own slingshot. But then we get the pageant queens being like, we all have sons. We've definitely dealt with slingshots. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah.
Who has
Yoli said, look,
slingshots?
I'm a parent. We've seen some you got to do some crazy stuff.
Yeah, crazy-ish, I think.
Yep.
Would you agree with that, Rob?
Yes. You do have to do some crazy stuff, but not play with slingshots.
Yeah, like Dominic and Anthony don't have slingshots.
The only time I ever played with a slingshot was when I was on Survivor.
I was gonna say,
the one in Jamaica.
Yeah, the real Survivor, not
real Survivor. Yeah,
not the wet T-shirt contest Survivor in Jamaica.
No, although both of them involved women taking their clothes off.
That is true.
That happened on,
and this happened on Buddy Games too.
Yeah,
there's one thing.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the Derby squad. It was like, hey, Team OK, you have to get naked. They're such pranksters. What about when they went down the steps on a mattress?
I know. I thought we were gonna have a medevac. Melissa, don't do that. That looks so dangerous. I do have a quibble with the okay. They pranked Team OK. They stole their cowboy boots and said, "You don't get your boots back until you get down, get
they didn't
naked."
Get naked. They didn't.
They were still in their boxers.
Not okay. Come on. Come on, guys.
Josh had to see boobies and vagina, as we all know. So did Anthony.
Yes.
And I just feel like that was not equal.
Come on, Huddy.
Yeah. We could have had a blurring opportunity here. Come on.
You know,
it was in the budget. We know.
Look,
we've heard that soundtrack.
Need the ratings, okay, guys? Come on.
Yeah.
All right. You want to be in the Zaddy calendar?
Oh, are we gonna get Buddy Games people in the Zaddy calendar?
I don't know. I think we need
Bryce is not watching this show.
Yeah, we need Bryce to do Issa Look for Buddy Games. But ultimately, we saw where, Derby squad, they reign supreme. And the pageant queens go home. But I thought this was a good episode for the pageant queens. I thought there was redemption from last week. They're all gonna miss it.
They seemed so, I will say, they seemed so much happier once Debbie left. And that, they left with their heads held high, and I think they really came together with the Derby squad. The Derby squad gave them T-shirts.
Yes. So, but I just want to say shout out to the pageant queens. Shout out to Yoli. And Lauren. I'm sorry. Last week I said you were boring. Lourdes. I'm sorry. Last week I said that you were Bordis.
She talked so much more this episode.
Yes.
Yeah. Debbie had to leave to let the rest of them shine.
They had to shine.
Yeah,
it was a nice
I think this is good for the
shirts.
show.
Yes.
Because
there's real stakes.
Yes. Because the Derby squad are coming back pissed, and they're not alone.
They want answers.
Because I think this is good because they are close with Team OK. And I don't think Team OK F's with Team Pride. They don't seem to have a thing. So I think that we're going to start seeing some division here. I'm hopeful that this is still going to hit next week.
And it looks like next week it's going to be a lot of tension.
And ketchup and maybe pina colada.
Ketchup. Yeah, it looks like things are getting pretty crazy with like gross food and lots of stuff coming up. Not just eat mac and cheese. So Buddy Games is doing great. We're coming back next week. We got to.
We have to.
I think Buddy Games might have earned the full season pickup.
I mean, we're halfway through.
At
this point, what would be the point of quitting at this point? You know?
Can't quit. Can't quit on the Buddy Games. Okay. I wish we knew how to quit.
Don't quit on my buddies.
Yeah. All right. Jenny, anything else you want to say about Buddy Games?
No, I'm feeling much like you, Rob. Like I had a really good time with this episode.
Like, damn you, Buddy Games.
I know.
I wasn't supposed to care this much.
I know. Here we are. It's one of the most strategic shows on TV right now. So
yeah. All right. Jenny, what else is coming up for you?
There'll be some more things coming down the pipe, but right now I'm just dripping in Buddy Games.
Well, we got to find some time to talk about. I started to see the commercials this week. The House of Villains. I added an extra "the" in there, like a real dad. I think I called it the House of the Villains before.
It's just House of. It's House of Villains.
Yeah.
Is there a "the" at all? The House of Villains.
I think it's just House of Villains.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the House of Villains.
The House of the Villains is too.
The House of the Villains. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah. So I'm so ready to see Johnny Bananas get
Mm-hmm.
his ass handed to him.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be
Yes.
so fun.
Yes. Okay. Which team would Johnny Bananas be on if he was part of the Buddy Games?
I don't
Which
know
team could
where.
he slot in? Is he from Oklahoma?
Yeah, I
Is
was
he
gonna
from
say
Philly?
if he's from Philly or Oklahoma or close enough, I think that he's probably slotting into one of
Where
those teams.
is
Johnny
Johnny Bananas from?
He gives like California
Orange
energy.
County.
See, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
I
don't
don't know
know.
what happens there. I think you have to go to OK, maybe, right? I don't know.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty far from both, but
Yeah.
I think that I can see him. Listen, I think Johnny Bananas played a lot of beer pong. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He would fit
and
in
I don't think
on.
that he definitely didn't stay with any childhood
Yeah.
or high school sweetheart. So he
He can
doesn't get
come
to go.
for Buddy Games USA next summer.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, it would be great.
It would be so good.
Buddy Games USA, Josh
Like the
Duhamel, yeah,
friends
it's like
that from the reality
yeah, like
universe.
Survivor, yeah,
Yeah.
Survivor Tribe and like the
Yes.
Big Brother Alliance.
Oh my gosh. That's
Like
actually what needs to
Amazing
happen.
Racers.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. So,
We
yeah.
were coming up with great
The
listen,
the
these are free
Savage
ideas.
Crew. Yeah. So, I think it would be great. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Stars on Mars.
Oh my gosh, please.
Yes, get Marshawn Lynch on the next Buddy Games.
We could do
Anyway,
a whole podcast doing the dream cast of this.
we
Like,
love Buddy Games. We wanna hear from what's the name of our Buddy Games fans?
the
Our buddy
the
buddies?
our
Our
buddy,
buddy
yeah, our
buddies?
buddy buddies. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
buddy buddies.
Or should we have a team name? Should we team buddy game squad?
Not podcast whores.
Yeah, podcast. No, no. No, we won't even say that. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I did say it, Rob. So here we are.
All right. There you go. All right. Jenny, where can people keep up with you?
You can find me on social media at Jenny Autumn, where I will say things sometimes.
Yes, and you could subscribe to our Buddy Games podcast feed when you go
Please.
to robhasawebsite.com/hit or quit feed for all things Buddy Games. We will be back next week to talk about episode 5 of Buddy Games on the world's only Buddy Games recap here
That's
on
right.
Hit or Quit. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.